She extended a sheet of paper to me as if she were granting me a huge favor. Rules a list, she stated with a smirk, standing right in the entrance of my own place. If I wished to visit their dwelling, I was required to call in. Advance, bring no other guests, and limit my stay to 28 minutes. My brother stood directly behind her, completely silent. My brother, the man I had provided a sanctuary and free lodging. For a while he was getting his life back together. Now he was just a ghost in my apartment while she was the one guarding the entrance. I did not utter a single word. I simply folded the paper and smiled faintly. That was the moment. I determined they could keep the apartment for the immediate future. The relationship was established early on. He was my younger brother. He always had that pathetic, desperate look in his eyes whenever he was in need of something. When he became unemployed, I did not hesitate. I gave him my spare keys and told him, stay as long as you require. He assured me it would only be temporary. For the initial few weeks, I would stop by, bring supplies, and pay the utility bills without any complaint. Family cares for family. That is what I sincerely believed. That is until she arrived, a girlfriend, then a toothbrush, then a huge collection of clothing, then a woman responding to my door wearing my own hooded sweatshirt and asking, can I assist you? It began modestly. Text messages left unopened, flimsy excuses over the telephone, delayed rent that was not even due yet. Then the locks were completely changed. The final egregious insult arrived in the form of that pre-printed, stapled, and signed list. She had relocated, like a parasite, capitalizing on his guilt, my generosity, and my legal ownership. I understood then it was not just a lack of respect. It was an outright takeover. I did not explode in anger. That would have been far too simple. Instead, I requested a cup of coffee, sat down on the curb outside, and began to plan. The shift in attitude began. Retaliation is not about unbridled fury. It is about careful exactness. First, I checked the lease agreement, my name, only mine. The utilities were all under my account. The bank records clearly showed every single payment originated from me. In legal terms, they were unlawful occupants, just uninvited tenants. But I did not contact law enforcement. Not yet. I wanted them to feel secure, self-assured. People become reckless when they are convinced they have already won. I stopped paying the electric bill first quietly, then the internet, then the water supply. All the while, I successfully redirected the entire mailing address to my new residence on the other side of Phoenix. When she messaged, hey, the Wi-Fi is broken again, I replied, we can discuss this soon. And we certainly did. Week 3. I entered my legal representative's office with one clear instruction. I want them removed legally, entirely, and painfully. We filed the eviction papers. Not a polite warning, not a simple notice, a complete legal order. 2 weeks later, she telephoned me screaming that the sheriff had arrived at the front door. I said calmly, it is not your place, do you recall? Then I calmly ended the call. When I visited the following day, they were gone. But not before she had taped a bitter message to the refrigerator. Hope you are satisfied. I was satisfied, but I was far from finished. A month later, I saw them again at a family gathering. They sat across the large dining table, pretending as if absolutely nothing had happened. She desperately avoided my gaze. He did not. So I announced, taking a casual sip of my wine, how is the apartment search progressing? He froze instantly. She fidgeted uncomfortably in her chair. I leaned forward, my voice calm and precise. You know, I inspected the place after you moved out. It seems you two left a lot of personal items behind. Photographs, clothing, mail. I donated every single item. Her jaw clenched tight. My brother's face became ashen white. I gave the same slight smile I had worn the day she handed me that ridiculous list. Next time, I said softly, earn your right to a space before you attempt to claim ownership of it. I departed that night feeling much lighter than I had in many months. Not necessarily proud, just clean. You genuinely learn a lot when people take advantage of you. You learn who they truly are, who you are, and how far you are willing to go to correct an injustice. I provided them shelter. They attempted to construct a prison, so I legally, quietly, and perfectly incinerated the prison. Now, when I drive past that apartment building, I feel no resentment, just absolute clarity. Some people only comprehend boundaries after they have painfully collided with them. And I made absolutely sure the lesson was delivered powerfully right at the door they once locked against me.